All right, a little football music to get us kicking off on our Wednesday live show. Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital at MC Show Digital. Please subscribe to our channel and also hit the thumbs up like if you're enjoying what you're watching and listening to. It is time to talk all things football. We do it each and every Wednesday with this guy on location today. Let's welcome in the one, the only from PFF. It's Dalton Wasserman. What's up, Dalton?
All good here. We're on the move, but we get it done as always. So it's going to be a fun time as we do every week.
Right, by the way, real quick, is that an Andre Johnson jersey behind you?
Actually, it is, to be honest. It's number 80, but it's actually a Chris Collinsworth Texans jersey. I don't know the origins of it, but that's what it is. If I were to tilt the camera up a little bit, it's actually a Chris Collinsworth jersey. I think Houston just kind of sent in here one day.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's even more rare. Screw Andre Johnson. Screw that Pro Football Hall of Fame. We got Chris Collinsworth, baby. Part of the key leadership team, obviously, there at Pro Football Focus. So terrific. So, Dalton, thank you so much, as always, for joining us here. Let's get right to it. Week 4 is kicking off, and there's a lot of fun games. But come on, the creme de la creme. And I'm sure the NBC overlords over there with your guy, Chris Collinsworth, were fist pumping when Micah Parsons got traded to the Green Bay Packers. They said, ooh, that Week 4 Sunday Night Football game just got a little juicier, huh?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be the storyline that everybody's looking at when it just comes to Micah Parsons, and everybody loves their revenge games, and a Cowboys offensive line that is struggling, and a Cowboys offense that now doesn't have CeeDee Lamb, at least for the next 2 weeks. It's really going to be a big story. Everybody's eyes are going to be on Parsons, as they always are. And look, he's been fantastic so far for the Packers. The Cowboys offensive line has been struggling to pass protect. Now they've got Tyler Booker out on IR, so you can see Parsons move inside. He can be off the edge. He can be anywhere, as creative as it is. And look, he says it's going to hurt him to sack Dak Prescott, but you have to feel like once he gets out there and maybe does it once or twice, that it's going to feel pretty good.
Yeah, going to be exciting for sure. Today's broadcast, by the way, brought to you by our friends at Crest Cadillac down on Automobile Row on East Genesee Street in Syracuse. Dalton Wasserman, all right, we got a big Sunday night game. You think that they cheer or they boo Micah on Sunday night?
They probably cheer him. I mean, to be honest with you, it seems like more of an organizational thing. You know, the reason they traded him, the reason they didn't want to pay him, because I think the big thing is we've seen them pay other guys, right? Obviously, Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, but also guys like Deron Bland on the defensive side, Trayvon Diggs in the past. So I think he gets cheered. I don't think it's really. I think most people understand that he wanted to be there. He just wanted to get paid, and the Cowboys weren't willing to pay what he wanted, and the Packers certainly were, and some. Plus, they gave up the trade haul to get him, and it's worked out for him and the Packers so far, but I don't think they're going to boo him. I don't think they see him as, the guy who did any sort of wrong there.
Although, let's say this, Jerry Jones, he says, we will absolutely not have a video tribute for Micah Parsons. He said it's not appropriate. I have been to a lot of games. There's been baseball games. I think it's the one we went to Pittsburgh where they showed like a tribute video, and I'm like, this dude was on the team for like 5 minutes. How is there a tribute video? Just sometimes we could debate where the line is for tribute videos. Micah Parsons, 4 years and having as many sacks as anyone over that span outside of Reggie White seems pretty worthy of a tribute video, no?
I mean, yeah, you would think so with as great of 4 years as he had there, right? But I mean, also, I don't know. To me, sometimes there are a lot of. It feels like we do tribute videos for everybody now. So I mean, it is cool. They probably should do one, considering the impact. Because you got to remember, his first 3 years went to the playoffs, all three. They won 12 games in each season, and he was arguably the biggest reason for that, right? Obviously, Prescott and Lamb on the offensive side are great, but Parsons has been an elite player his entire career from the start of it till now with Green Bay. And, Dallas, I think they're just trying to quiet the noise when it comes to the trade and all that and just kind of get through this week. But no, I mean, if there was a guy deserving of that for 4 years of work, it would be him.
And the other game that we have this week for the first time, and then we're going to have several other of them, NFL International game. We're starting in Ireland, baby. We'll have the Pittsburgh Steelers facing off against the Minnesota Vikings. First off, just where do you stand on international games? And obviously you're on the East Coast with us here, Dalton. 9:30 kickoff for football here in the US of A.
I mean, honestly, for me, I do our college football show at 9 a.m. on Sundays, so I'll catch probably the second half of the game and then have to go back on the All 22 and watch it again. But no, I mean, look, it's great to expand the market and all that. I'm hesitant to think, because there's been talk for a long time that there's going to be an international team that's, a full-time London team or something like that. I just don't understand the logistics of that. But to do a handful of these every year and continue to expand the fan base is always good.
Talking with Dalton Wasserman, PFF, our NFL insider. A big week in football. We're in week 4 of the NFL. 2 0-3 teams in New York. Very sad. The two fans you're looking at right now, Dalton, representing each of those teams, despite my Chargers attire today. But let me ask you, the Giants obviously making a big change. Jaxson Dart will be the quarterback this week. I guess when your job's on the line, you can't afford to wait. I know that Russell Wilson hasn't played well in 2 of the 3 games so far, but the Giants obviously pushing Jaxson Dart into the starting lineup against a very difficult matchup in the LA Chargers. So let's talk all about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, look, the Russell Wilson's performance in week 1 against Washington, while it wasn't great, I could really attribute that one to the offensive line. They just couldn't block anybody. To me, in this game against Kansas City, it came down to decision making. And there was several very poor decisions that Russell Wilson made. And what you're seeing is what you saw the same as, the latter stretch of last year, where he just doesn't operate very well underneath, over the middle of the field, making some of the easier throws. The deep ball is great, but if you take that away, he really has nothing else in the tank. And look, the Chargers this week as the first matchup for Jaxson Dart, they're better than any team in football right now at preventing those deep shots. So they're going to make Dart work underneath. If he can make the adjustment better than Russell Wilson did, and he can make those underneath throws accurately and on time, then you're talking about running a better offensive operation. But this is a very tough matchup, but I also think it's a telling matchup for Dart and his approach to playing the position here.
So did the Giants make the right move or the wrong move, throwing Jaxson Dart to the Wolves?
I think they probably just made the right move. Wilson, it was such a rough performance, and I really think so much of it was on him. And I didn't love even the play calling and the game plan from Brian Daboll. But at this point, what Wilson, again, week 1, I can attribute to the offensive line. I really can. This week against the Chiefs, it was on him. I mean, there was just the interception in the end zone before halftime, the final sequence down in the red zone when you had one last pulse to try to get back in it. And it just felt like if you take away the home run ball, there's nothing left there. Maybe Dart just adds more to your offense, maybe even adds a little more to the run game, and just see where it goes. You got to throw him to the Wolves eventually, right? Everyone's talking about, what's the right week to put him in? Put him in when he's ready. And if he's ready to be better than Russell Wilson, then so be it.
Let me ask you this one. We were talking to Ed Valentine, our Giants insider, yesterday, and I ran this by him, and I'll run it by you since you kind of brought it up. I agree. I think it was, Russell hasn't played well. And I actually, even though I've been wanting really for them to wait till much later in the season to put Dart in there, I can understand it based on what we've seen so far and kind of the predicament, the situation that the Giants and their staff are in. But not getting Malik Neighbors a single touch in an entire half of football is, to me, inexcusable, and that's on the coaching staff. A reverse, a screen. All right, if they're bracketing him, if they're doubling him, you just got to get him the ball. Give me your assessment of that one, Dalton.
No, absolutely, especially in a game against a good team like that. And I know the Chiefs started 0-2, but they still have Patrick Mahomes, and they're a good team, and it's a big game. I always say live and die with your best players, and Malik Neighbors is far and away the Giants' best player on offense, right? So the fact that guy doesn't get touches, that's a coaching thing for me. That's not just Russell Wilson. That's a coaching thing where you have to go, hey, this is a player who has to touch the ball anywhere from 8 to 12 times today, and especially against that team with such a good secondary, he's the one guy who can win one-on-one and can really make people miss, when it comes to missing tackles and things like that. You have to get your best players the ball. If anybody here in Cincinnati, if Jamar Chase ever went a whole first half without a target, or one target, it would be a massive issue. It'd be like, what in the world are you doing? This is one of the best players in football. So Brian Daboll does need to do a better job of distributing the football around with the play calling, but that may also come with Wilson and maybe getting a more expansive set of play calls with Jaxson Dart in there working underneath.
Right.
Yeah. Jaxson Dart gets me emotional too, Dalton. So I totally understand what's going on there. It makes sense. First career start.
It's possible.
It feels like we're doing the eulogy of Russell Wilson. He's been so great for so long that it is tough. He's been around since 2012. We've been talking about Russell Wilson. It's been a long time.
Pour one out for Mr. Unlimited, who's out there in the universe. Someone else we may have to pour one out for. You mentioned you're over there in Cincinnati with the PFF headquarters. Jake Browning. I thought he was supposed to be A-OK with no Joe Burrow. They got beaten with a rusty wrench against the Minnesota Vikings. Is it time to hit the panic button in Cincinnati and go make a trade for a Kirk Cousins or some other significant quarterback? Because Jake Browning sucked.
I think you hit the panic button, but I also don't think a new quarterback would fix anything. This team can't block anybody. This week they're fumbling the ball left and right, and the defense still isn't all that good. I just think this team as a whole, without Joe Burrow in there, no matter who the quarterback is, whether it's Jake Browning or Kirk Cousins with this pass protection wouldn't do a whole lot. He can't move. Jameis Winston, even that's the other idea that's been thrown around. I just don't see this team is not structurally sound enough to support a quarterback that's not Joe Burrow, who can bail them out of a lot of, and even then they weren't this year, they weren't strong enough to support Joe Burrow. I mean, the pass protection's what got him hurt. So I think you're going to see maybe not 48-10 because it was their biggest loss ever, but I think this is more the type of football you're just going to see from the Bengals no matter who's under center this year.
Yeah, we got some good matchups. Looking at the slate this week, Boy Green mentioned that game in Ireland, the Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings, and then they travel to England, right, the following week, do the Vikings, right? Is the Vikings back-to-back? I think they're overseas for both of those games.
For the first time ever, right. Yeah. They're doing the international back-to-back.
Irish-English thing. That's kind of cool. But another good game, Philadelphia, Tampa Bay. Tampa at home for this one. Give me your assessment of that game.
Yeah, I mean, the Buccaneers, man, they just keep powering through despite all of the injuries they have. And now Mike Evans is going to be out for roughly a month, too. I just wonder at what point, at least for a week or two, that this breaks. And maybe they're getting Chris Godwin back this week. Maybe they're getting Tristan Wirfs back this week or next week. They need those guys in the worst way because at this point, their receiving core is down to a Micah Ibuka, a rookie, although a good one, and Sterling Shepard. I mean, it's just they've been ravaged so hard with injuries, and yet they're 3-0. It's so big for them to start 3-0. But I just have to wonder against an Eagles team that A, is so talented, and B, just finds ways to win every single week. Do the Bucs injuries finally just catch up to them this week, and we kind of, they kind of get put on the back burner for a week as far as especially being undefeated?
They say, Dalton, that's why we play the games. That, like, for instance, randomly this week, as I just set out the picks for everybody to make their picks this week, and you see, good Lord, the Bills are 16.5-point favorites of the New Orleans Saints. But, while that would seem to indicate Buffalo's clearly going to, destroy the Saints, that's why you play the games. Last week, we all thought the Green Bay Packers were going to beat the Cleveland Browns, and the Browns had other plans. Shout out to Syracuse legend Andre Schmidt, of course. But I throw it back to you, Dalton, here to say, what does that result say more about who? The Packers losing it or the Browns winning it?
I actually think the Browns winning it. I got to be honest with you, and I know they gave up a bunch of points to the Ravens in week 2, but I don't think their defense played that bad a game. Their offense put them in bad spot. I think the Browns, you got an easy argument. They're the best defense in football right now. They're our highest graded defense by a pretty good margin, no matter what their record is and no matter what their offense looks like, because obviously it's not great. I think any coach going in to play the Browns, including Detroit this week, you look at that front seven and you go, oh, we're in for a war today. That defense, Myles Garrett, Mason Graham, Carson Schlesinger, all those guys they have up front in that front seven, they make life extremely difficult no matter how good your offensive line is, no matter how good your quarterback is. It is a real problem. I think it says more about the Browns. I think the Packers are going to bounce back this week against a Dallas defense that's basically the polar opposite of Cleveland. But that Cleveland defense, man, they may not, as a team, they may not win a ton of games, but they're a problem to play every week with that front seven.
Well, you mentioned earlier, Dalton, a little bit about injuries. You mentioned a Mike Evans injury, which is certainly going to be a big blow to Tampa Bay. Terry McLaurin possibly on alert here this week, and some other injuries across the NFL. What are the big ones so far that you say, hey, these are difference-making injuries that are really going to cause teams to maybe, drop a game or two without one of their stars?
There's two this past week that were season-ending that are just massive. First, I look at the Arizona Cardinals, who are already, to me, kind of struggling on offense, and they lose their workhorse, James Conner, for the season with an ankle injury. The Cardinals need Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison in this passing game to really get going, or I think they could be in trouble in a very, very tough division. And the other one, I got to be honest with you, I don't know how the 49ers keep doing it. Now they lose Nick Bosa for the season to a torn ACL, I believe the second time in his career. And look, their defensive line was already patchwork and kind of had a lot of kids other than Bosa, and Bosa was the one thing gluing that all together along with Fred Warner at linebacker. I don't, if the 40, I'll be honest with you, with as many injuries as they've had, they're already off to a 3-0 start somehow, some way. If the 49ers make the playoffs, I 100% believe Kyle Shanahan should be the coach of the year. I don't think there should be any question about that with the number of injuries and big injuries to big superstar players that they've had. Bosa's another one. Their D-line, Bryce Huff, former Jet, Bryce Huff has been great for them as a pass rusher, obviously reunited with Robert Saleh, but losing Nick Bosa is just absolutely devastating for them.
You brought up the Cardinals. Let's go back to him because it's another guy that was the son of a Syracuse legend, Marvin Harrison Jr. I wish I could say injuries were the problem, but it doesn't sound like it's an injury. It's he's dropping footballs. He looks all discombobulated, and a lot of people thought he was just one of those safe picks in the draft. He just looks so good at Ohio State. He's from a legendary family. Like it would just make a lot of sense that he would be instantly good in the NFL. It didn't happen last year to the level a lot of us thought, and then this year dropping balls all over the place. He just looks out of sorts. What is wrong with Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Yeah, that's the term right there. They do look out of sorts. And honestly, the chemistry with him and Kyler Murray going back to last season, it looked very inconsistent. It's just, for some reason, I don't know if it's the play calling, if it's his chemistry with Kyler, if it's just Kyler not looking his way sometimes. It just, and then even last week, you mentioned the drops. It feels like it's getting in his head a little bit. This, for some reason, through a year plus, it just hasn't been in sync. And you would think going in, okay, so last year he's a rookie. And he still had a decent rookie season for, you know, by a lot of rookie receiver standards, but it just hasn't felt like he's just going to be that number one guy, right? That take over the game guy, like Malik Neighbors has become, right? Like we saw Brian Thomas do last year too. This whole Arizona offense looks out of sync to me, but that's really the most glaring thing is you've got a 4th overall pick at receiver out there from last year that he and Kyler Murray still 20 games into it just haven't found a way to just sync up and get things going, especially vertically down the field.
You know, another player that a lot of us want to believe in, but we aren't sure, Indiana Jones, Danny Diamonds. He goes by many names. Is this the week we find out if he's for real as they're on the road against the LA Rams, who shoulda, coulda, woulda beaten the Philadelphia Eagles, but an epic collapse of epic proportions there? Is that when we can really, truly buy in on this and that it's legitimately for real based on this game in week 4?
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm bought in that he's good in this offense, and he's got a super tough task. I have the Rams winning this game, but that's because the Rams are also still really darn good. Matt Stafford's throwing the heck out of the ball. The Rams pass rush, I'm interested to see Jones against this pass rush, and he's got a very good offensive line in front of him, but Jared Verse and those guys are a bunch of monsters up front. So I do think it's a tough task. I think if Jones doesn't, play a perfect game like he essentially did last week against Tennessee, and even if they lose the game, I don't think you can pass too bad of judgments around him because he's been so good the first 3 weeks. And that Rams defense, they're really good. I mean, the pass rush especially is going to cause a problem. That's going to be one of the most fun games of the week, obviously, with 2 really good teams. But I think I'm bought in already. I think he's shown that he can run this offense, and at least against, not maybe elite defenses, but he played really well against Denver, and that's considered one of the best defenses in football. So I think on the bright side, if he wins this game, you look at the Colts and you're like, man, that's a machine right there. They're insanely good. And if they lose, you go, okay, that's a tough loss cross country on the road against a really good team. I wouldn't pass too much bad judgment on Jones, even if they lose this week.
Talking with Dalton Wasserman, PFF, our NFL insider, Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital at MC Show Digital. Please subscribe to our channel and also hit the thumbs up like. We love you to do that as well. This way our channel can be exposed to more people out there. The more you like it, the more subscribers we get, the better our chances of that. By the way, announcement coming up once we finish up with Dalton. I know I said the other day, Boy Green, we do that off the top of the show, but we needed to get right down to business here. We will be announcing the winner. We have picked the winner. We have the name. We know who it is. We're going to announce it right after we finish up with Dalton. The David Tyree autographed The Catch photo framed, sitting right here on the Manchild's wall, going out the door to one of our lucky 300. So a winner coming momentarily, so stay tuned. All right, let me ask you about this, Dalton. We talked about it last week. I just need to pull it up here in front of me. I'm going to read you the statement. Tom Brady has spoken about ethics in football. And I want to tell you what he had to say, and then you can react to it, Dalton. So here we go on what Tom Brady had to say about the booth thing and the getting access to coaches and the fact that the NFL is kind of, dare I say, kowtowing to Tom Brady. I know you and I disagreed on this last time we talked, but let's see what Brady had to say about it. He said the following, a quote, "I love football. At its core, it's a game of principles. And with all the success it has given me, I feel I have a moral and an ethical duty to the sport, which is why the point where my roles in it intersect is not actually a point of conflict, despite what the paranoid and distrustful might believe. Rather, it's a place from which my ethical duty emerges to grow, evolve, and improve the game that has given me everything. Ooh, strong words from Tom Brady about his sense of ethics and how seriously he takes it that he gets access that others don't.
I mean, I think he probably looks at it like he has two jobs and he just does both of them kind of sort of separately. It's not really like that, especially in scenarios where he covered the Bears game last week and now the Bears playing the Raiders this week. But also, I still am in the boat that, like, when he goes into these meetings, and he's still not allowed to go to practices and really see what's going on. But when he goes into these meetings, I don't think coaches or anybody are telling him anything that he doesn't, that a lot of us don't already know, or people who watch the tape don't already know, right? As long as, if he's not going to practices and seeing anything behind the scenes with the game plan, then I mean, so be it. And again, people will be what you allow them to be, and the league is allowing him to do it. And I mean, I think if they're bending the rule, I think it's more a question of the league bending towards one guy than it is for Brady. Brady's doing what they're allowing him to do, and at that point, I can't really blame him for that part, right? It's like bending any other rule that we see on the field, right? So I don't take a huge issue with Brady, because I think the bigger issue is what the league is just allowing him to do. It's on the league more so than him.
I totally agree. I think it's on the league. It's not on Brady at all. I agree with you. You tell me I can do it, I do it. I'm following the rules. I would do the same thing if I were Tom Brady. So I don't have an issue per se with Brady. I have an issue with the league allowing Brady to do this. Go ahead, Boy Green.
Fair enough. Dalton, we talked about pressing panic buttons earlier. A lot of us had this matchup circled on paper like, ooh, this is going to be tasty. Baltimore versus Kansas City, but both are 1-2, which means my math says one of them has to go to 1-3. Dalton, whoever goes 1-3, whether it's the Ravens or the Chiefs, who would you be more worried about if they end up with that result?
I think Kansas City. I think the Chargers have shown that they're going to be a real force out west. I think Denver, for as much as they've struggled early in the season, I think they're still very talented. The Chiefs, honestly, against the Giants, I mean, Mahomes made 3 or 4 plays that made the difference in the game, but they didn't even look that good against the Giants. I think that game was much more so about the Giants and their state of affairs right now than the Chiefs. The offense is still not explosive. The defense, the secondary looks better the last couple of weeks, but the pass rush is not great right now. I think I would be much more about the Chiefs. And I just think you look at the AFC North as well. The Steelers are 2-1, but they haven't looked great. The Browns, yes, they have the defense, but they're not going to win a ton of games. The Bengals look like they're falling apart at the seams. The Ravens right now, even at 1-2, are still the heavy favorite to win that division. I think they could climb out of 1-3 at an easier rate, and not easier, it's never easy, but at an easier rate than the Chiefs could, especially with the way the Chiefs on offense are struggling.
Yeah, and I should go back and mention the flex that my Lions made on them on Monday Night Football. I know that you were not on that bandwagon there, Dalton, but I was. I was all about that bandwagon. I thought Detroit would show up, and they did. I know you have labeled Baltimore the best team in football or the best team in the AFC. Do you still feel that way despite the 1-2?
No, right now, I mean, you look at their defense and the way they got physically mauled between the tackles against Detroit. And even, they haven't gotten Derrick Henry going. He's obviously got the fumbling issue right now. Lamar Jackson, I think, has been good, but not spectacular. No, I think right now you look at you look at the 2 teams that are, and 2 of the 3 teams, I should say, that are undefeated. I won't put the Colts way in the first echelon of that, but you look at the Bills and the Chargers and the Bills and how high their floor is on a week-to-week basis with Josh Allen and that offense. And then look at the way Justin Herbert's playing, man. I mean, look, people say this guy doesn't get it done when it matters. You tell me, you watch that fourth quarter against Denver last week and tell me that doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter how he played. He was fantastic leading that team back through a lot of adversity in that game, and he's already beaten his 3 divisional opponents in the first 3 weeks, right? Justin Herbert's playing great football. Jesse Minter and that defense is fantastic. So I think the Bills and the Chargers right now, with their record and their performance on the field, those are the 2 best teams in the AFC right this minute.
And dare I say, Dalton, the Bills with that powder puff schedule. powder puff in my face.
Yeah, but you know what? To their credit, and they do this pretty much every year, they take care of business. They especially at home, they very rarely lose games that they're not supposed to. The big games, we can question their defense and big moments and things like that. But even this week, the spread is high, 16.5 is high against the Saints, but they're going to take care of business. They don't mess around in these games, especially in Buffalo. And look, what's in front of them is what's in front of them. If those teams in front of them have to be better, then so be it. It's not their fault they get to play the Jets and Dolphins and Patriots twice a year. We used to do the same thing with New England all those years with Brady.
That's true. By the way, one last one, super local. You're bringing up Justin Herbert in that comeback against the Broncos. Well, one of the players he was passing football to is local Syracuse guy, Oronde Gadsden. He finished with 5 catches for 46 yards, long being a 17-yarder, and he was targeted 7 times. So we have Phil Larmer chiming in on our YouTube channel saying, can we ask you about Oronde Gadsden? Great game last week. Very nice.
Absolutely. Listen, I like Gadsden more than a lot of guys coming out of the draft. I had him actually in the top 100 of my board. I just think, and you could call him a tight end or a receiver, or whichever way that goes, because, he was a tight end at Syracuse technically, but not really. But no, I think the fact that the Chargers last year got so little receiving production out of their tight ends, and they signed former Jet Tyler Conklin, but Gadsden's the guy who fits in with Justin Herbert in this offense because he can win vertically down the field. He's got great size. He can really move for a guy that's 6'5" and 230, 240, and he just has an understanding of, look, I'm going down the seams and I can make these contested catches just like he did last year with Kyle McCord at Syracuse. I think he went to the perfect spot for him in that offense, and the versatility he gives him and the ability to stretch the field vertically. It's a great fit for him. I think it's a great pick.
All right, Dalton, I want to thank you so much for joining us as you do every single week. Continued luck in your picks against the spread. You've been doing some business there, which we appreciate.
Start taking my Lions, man. Get on that bandwagon.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So, Dalton, thank you so much for joining us, pal.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys as always.
All right, there he is. All right, taking care of business today, Dalton, in the office, working off an iPad, man. We had a tricky little setup with him today. All right, look, we'll do a little bit more. We got to take a break, Boy Green. I want to remind people that today's broadcast brought to you by our friends at Crest Cadillac. So we're going to take a 30-second break. When we get back from the break, we're going to announce our winner. Boy Green put all the names in a randomizer last night and then pulled a number out and then attached it to a name based on when you became a subscriber to our channel. And I was very happy to hear who we are about to announce is going to win the David Tyree autographed framed photo. All right, that's coming up right when we return. Stick around. Manchild Show with Boy Green. But let me just take 30 seconds to tell you a little bit more about today's sponsor, our friends at Crest Cadillac.
Cadillac certified pre-owned vehicles, exclusively available in Central New York at your participating Cadillac dealer, Crest Cadillac. Each one must meet high standards and receives a 172-point inspection, along with a 1-year unlimited mile warranty after the original warranty expires. Come into Crest Cadillac in Syracuse today for exceptional offers on Cadillac certified pre-owned models. CrestCadillac.com.
All right, Boy Green, it is that time. We promised once we got to 300, we would give away this lovely, lovely picture. David Tyree, autographed, framed, the catch. Boy Green, it's got a couple of little fingerprints from me taking it on and off the wall. So I promise the person that we're about to announce that this is headed out the door to that I will take
clean it up,
window cleaner, and
nice,
a little screen cleaner, clean it up. It'll be beautiful. Yeah. Frame is in marvelous shape. I don't know why I'm giving away this lovely frame. Here we go, Boy Green. Do you have like a drum roll or a suspenseful piece of music?
Well, you tell me, this.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, the old trivia music, right? Who wants to be a millionaire?
So again,
your final answer.
We'll see if we can lock that in a second. And folks, for those who are like, what the hell are these guys talking about? The first 300 subscribers to this channel, and that is at MC Show Digital. We're streaming live right now in 3 different places. The Manchild Show Boy Green Digital Facebook page, the Manchild Show Boy Green Digital YouTube page, and my YouTube page at BoyGreen25. Again, to be eligible for this specific free giveaway, again, it costs you nothing. All you had to do was be subscribed to our channel, which again is youtube.com/MC Show Digital. If you would like to be part of any of our future giveaways, which Lerch is going to tease that before we get out of here about the next one that's coming up, a big milestone marker, just subscribe to the channel at MC Show Digital. So Lerch, without further ado, we've been dragging this out for some time, but it's time to reveal that winner. We did it last night, and And now he can finally reveal it.
You're the one who plucked it, Boy Green. So you announce it. Who was the winner? And do you have the little "you're the best" or something?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Cue that to play after you give the name. But huge congratulations going out to
Phil Larmer. Congratulations, Phil. Congratulations.
a Giant fan.
Yes,
a Giant fan won this. I was thrilled when you picked that number and then you told me that number was attached to Phil. I was thrilled that a Giants fan walked away with that. Phil, congratulations, baby. And Phil was one of the people. I know Bad Show was. There might have been a couple other people in the chat over the last couple of weeks saying, I want that thing on my wall, baby. I can't wait. Sometimes you wish it, you can will it into existence. So, Phil, congrats, my friend.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
So, Phil, here's how it's going to work, baby. And
I
this
must
is
say,
for
I'm
all of our
very
future
sad to see
Yeah,
it
there you
go.
go. Yeah, let's throw it up one more time.
Leaving. I don't know. It's going to be so sad to see.
It's beautiful. So here it is, Phil. Here's how it
Still have
works.
my ball.
Look, I just put this up on our screen that you can see. My email is paulaesdenjr@gmail.com. That is PAULA, the letter ESDENJR @gmail.com. I'd love for you to reach out to me. We can explain how we could get this to you, or any social media. My handle on all social media is @boygreen25, BOY, green the color, GREEN25, X, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want. Reach out to me, and then we can work out the details of getting you this prize that you've won. Congratulations, you were one of our first 300 subscribers.
I'm sorry, I don't know Phil personally, but I get the impression from comments that he's made over the last few weeks when he's been participating, and Phil is a high participator in our comments, and obviously has been showing up for a lot of our lives and a lot of our videos. He sounds like he might be local. He might be a local guy, so I might actually.
That's why I'm saying that's exactly. Yes, I'm picking
I
up
have to pack it up in the bubble wrap and everything that I got. I might be able to just drive it over to him or something.
So actually, Phil, if you don't mind, I see you're in the comment section. If you're actually, I live in Syracuse or something, feel free to let us know. And that's also the reason why I framed it in this
I don't
way.
know. I get that feeling.
Yeah, I don't know, because he does seem to be a fan of the radio show before we became digital. So, Phil, please reach out to me again. Any of the Liverpool. There you go.
Liverpool. Oh my God, this is going to be the easiest delivery in the history of
in person. Beautiful. So, yes, excellent, Phil. We had that feeling, which is great. So, Phil, you can reach out in any of these ways, and we'll set up all the dots so Lerch can hand this right to you. And again, congratulations.
Yeah, send Paul your phone number. We can text you. That'd probably be the best way to get it done. So easy peasy. All right. I'm not even gonna have to put this in the mail, man.
Nice.
Post office, not need, because I was a little worried. I got to do the insurance and everything. I don't want this thing getting broken or something. Of course. In the mail, and then we got a problem. So this is going to make it a lot easier. Although up next, go ahead.
Yeah, the thing I was about to say with this next prize is I don't know if you're going to get so lucky with this one. But folks, okay, so that first prize, congratulations, Phil. Again, reach out. We'll get it to you. That was for our first 300 subscribers. But now, that's cool, but let's turn the page. What's next? And what's next is 500 subscribers. That's where we want to get to, again, specifically on the MC Show Digital YouTube channel. Not my channel, Boy Green. Again, Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital. Look it up on YouTube. It's also right here. It's also my YouTube description down below. Look that up. Subscribe right now. As long as you're one of the first insert 500 subscribers, you have a chance at this prize. Lerch, what's his prize?
All right, so the prize will be this Cleveland driver. It's a Highbore XL, donated by our friends at Play It Again Sports down on Erie Boulevard in DeWitt. You hear them. They are one of our sponsors, and still in the wrapping. Gorgeous. This club has not been hit. It is pristine. It is brand spanking new. Retail value about $400. Still got the tags on it, for crying out loud. Brand new grip, stiff shaft. I was swinging it out in the backyard. I mean, I didn't hit anything with it, Boy Green, but I was swinging it. Yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely driver. So that's our next prize, and that'll go out to one of our first 500 subscribers.
And also, here's just a unique kicker, guys. We're going to keep doing these giveaways moving forward as we progress to these big milestones. And here's the thing. If you're one of our first 300, keep being a subscriber and you're eligible for the 500. There's nothing more you have to do. If you're already subscribed, boom, you're in the running. And for every other giveaway, if you remain a subscriber, you continue to be in the running. If you unsubscribe, come back, there's a chance you could miss out. So make sure you stay subscribed to the channel, of course, for hopefully all the wonderful content we're providing you, but also a chance to win a lot of free stuff. So yeah, congrats again to Phil, which is excellent. He's very celebratory in the comment section, as he should be. Good for you, Phil.
Nice for a fellow Giant fan to be. I feel good about this, Phil, that someone that I know appreciates the Giants, that follows the Giants, that likes the Giants, even in hard times, Phil. You are with us, my friend. You're with us.
Yeah.
That someone of that ilk is going to have this sitting on their wall or in their man cave. So fantastic. Again, reach out to Paul. There's the information. All right. And we will get this to you. Phil, it sounds like you might have it in a matter of hours. you might have it by later today. I've got not a lot going on today outside of all the things we're doing for the channel. But once we're done, putting some stuff together for the channel today, then I might actually be able to get it to you today. So yeah, this thing.
All you have to do is reach out, pal. Again, that's my email.
Get those fingerprints off quickly.
Yeah, right.
Be out the door.
Wax off, Lerch.
Hey, and once you get it, Phil, okay, just to speak to you directly here for a second, take a photo with it or something, you cut a little video. You can, again, we'll be in contact. If you send us your cell, we can be in contact via text, and then you can just pop it.
Tag us 100% on social.
Put it on your social and tag us. That's another way. And we will show people that, indeed, this did go to you and
it's real,
You have a cool wall that you're putting it on. You want to show us that, whatever you want to tell us about it. But we'd like to see it, at the very least, you and that photo together.
That'd be awesome.
In victory formation. We aren't getting any wins this year, it feels like, Phil, as Giant fans. But, this is a small victory that a Giant fan is actually getting a Giants prize. So I was very, very happy when I found that out from
that you were selected.
All right.
So there you go.
All right.
So congrats, Phil.
Winner chicken dinner, even though a lot of you are obviously very deserving.
Of course. And again, one more time, Phil, this is how you do it. Again, this is my email. First name, middle initial, last name, the letters jr@gmail.com, or any social media @boygreen25. So feel free. And again, because this is a live show, you can always go back and rewind it if you missed the email and go back to it, Phil. So looking forward to hearing back from you, and so you can get this prize.
Now, BG, we are closing in on your big Jets party down at the Meadowlands at MetLife. Little tailgate in the park. I shouldn't say a big tailgate in the parking lot. And then the game against the Dallas Cowboys, who I'm loving the Jets' chances of beating the Cowboys. I'd like to see the Jets get one this week and get this thing on track before we head down there. But we're just 2 Sundays away from that Jets game. I'm going to be there with my son, along with all your crazy Jet maniacs from the Boy Green Daily Show, and Badshaw already throwing down the dagger here to me. I had said I'm going to wear Jets paraphernalia. He says, "What Jets jersey are you going to wear to the game?" Interestingly enough, Badshaw, literally after I wrap things up today, I am going to get online and I am going to get my jersey.
Okay.
Right? Purchase my jersey and get it to me so that I have it in time.
Do you have the name in mind of who you're going after?
Still not sure. So Badshaw and anybody else that's a Jet guy or has Jet, inclinations in the comments. How about some suggestions? Maybe you can convince me. I have a few ideas, but I have not decided. So,
I have a follow-up question.
Yes.
Do you go current player or legend? Because both jerseys would be available. A player that's retired and their career is already spoken for, or a current player that you could be rooting for during the game.
I haven't decided that, but I definitely could go either way. I'm really, really pretty flexible on this. The thing I like about legend jerseys is it's done and you know exactly what you're signing up for.
Right, that's true.
Get a current guy. What drives me crazy about a current guy, see, I haven't even been able to pull it out. I can't get out of my chair here to go get it. It's not that far away. But I have a giant Saquon Barkley jersey. And I'm not like you. You have 100 jerseys in the closet.
They're awesome. Yeah.
I have like 10 jerseys. All right. Okay, maybe I'm creeping up closer to 15 these days, but I'm not like you. I don't have an entire closet full of jerseys. I don't collect jerseys, but I kind of slowly, but I'm really feeling this. Let me get it. You see the Malik Neighbors over my shoulder. They're the
LSU, very nice.
Fantasy draft last year. When Neighbors was picked by the Giants, and they didn't even know what Neighbors' number was going to be with the Giants.
All that drama.
And he finally ended up now at number 1. So I was like, I'm not getting a Neighbors jersey, and then I get the wrong number. I mean, that's so dumb. And then the year, I just saw that. I'm really mad. Jahmyr Gibbs changed his number this year to number 0.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, 22 is my favorite number. And Jahmyr Gibbs, when he started his career at the Lions, was 22. I don't have a jersey, but I have a Jahmyr Gibbs
player
tee,
jersey shirt.
Lions logo. I've worn it a couple of times on the broadcast. And what you don't see, because it's kind of below the screen level here, is the giant 22 and Gibbs on the back and the giant 22 on the back. The darn thing is finished. What am I doing with that? I might as well take it out in the yard and burn it. I mean, he's not wearing that number anymore. He's like, why are you wearing a 22? Gibbs a 0. You look like a dope. These players, these today players, they're moving, they're shaking, they're getting traded, they're jumping over here, free agency, changing their number midstream. So I'm kind of leaning legend, to be honest with you, Boy Green, because, I don't want the annoyance of the guy gets traded next year. And like Saquon, I got a jersey I wish I didn't have in the closet right now. Yada, yada. So,
which that's unfortunate. So it's still up for grabs. So people keep suggesting your comments for what jersey Lerch should select, whether it's legend or current. And I'll also throw this out there in the universe. A shout out to the Boy Green Coffee Club, who's just a very generous and giving group. We have a ticket available for this Jets Cowboys game. And all of the money from this ticket that just became available is going to our charity for the Wounded Warrior Project efforts. And we raised already over $1,700 for charity so far. So whatever comes from this ticket will also be added to that total. So yes, if there's someone out there in the universe, we had sold out, and then a Boy Green Coffee Club member got hooked up with sweet tickets. So they gave us back tickets to sell to raise money for charity. So that's super cool. So yes, if there's someone out there in the universe, or Lerch, somewhere out there in your universe that you want to select, let me know. A ticket has suddenly sprung available here just 10 or 11 days from kickoff. So yes, you can enjoy the festivities of sitting with us all together in section 228A of the Jets Cowboys game. So if someone jumps to mind that same information I presented earlier, please reach out. Here it is. I'll throw it back up on your screen. Reach out. And the thing that can make you feel even better about it, quite frankly, is that the money's going to charity. So yes, reach out ASAP, and we'll try to get you locked in. The game is coming up rapidly.
All right. A couple of things in comments, Boy Green. I'll pop up a couple things. Jets question for you. Who's filling Quincy's spot at linebacker? And can this new corner start this week? The Jets just made a trade. Didn't get a chance to ask Dalton Wasserman about it, but I'll ask you about it. What about the trade? The Jets go out and try and get some depth in the secondary.
Yeah, so I'll answer the second part first. So Jarvis Brownlee Jr., and a lot of people may say, who is that? What is his name? Well, what is this guy? He's actually,
that would be me.
Which makes a lot of sense. So let me answer this question for you, Lerch. He's been the starting corner for the Titans since being drafted in the 5th round. He was their starting corner this season. The first 2 games of the year, he missed his past game because of injury, and they just traded away their starting corner for a bag of Doritos. It doesn't seem to make any sense. I've got a lot of people that work in and around the Tennessee Titans, so I texted them immediately. I'm like, hey, why? Why did Tennessee get rid of him? And he said, we're left scratching our head over here. And he says, this organization's making all kinds of dumb decisions, is what that Tennessee Titans guy told me. Now, this guy's not without warts. He has a little bit of a penalty issue and things of that nature, but he's 24, and the Jets just got him for 2.5 years of cheap rookie control, a starting corner. So can this new corner start this week? Unlikely, Craig, because he's battling some sort of an ankle injury. So unlikely to play here in week 4 on Monday Night Football against the Dolphins, but don't rule him out for week 5 for our Cowboys game or beyond. Brandon Stevens has struggled, and so has Michael Carter II. So yes, Jets trade for a corner, and they just swap late round picks in 2026. Great deal. Unfortunately, the first part of your news, all-pro linebacker Quincy Williams has been placed on IR. He will miss the next 4 games, so unfortunately he will not be available for a Jets-Cowboys game coming up. And the Jets also lost his backup. Marcelino McCurry-Ball is also on IR, so the Jets are absolutely hurting at the second level of their defense here. And the guys that are most likely to step up here are Cam Jones, a Chiefs linebacker the Jets claimed on waivers at the beginning of the season, and also Mark Robinson, who they just picked off the Patriots practice squad. So there's going to be some fresh meat where Lerch is asking that same question with that Titans corner. Wait, who? What's your name? What's going on? It sounds like those are the kind of players, unfortunately, are going to be stepping up for the Jets on defense. So, a lot of questions for the Jets.
All right, old Yank popping in with this one, Boy Green, about Dart starting. He says he loves that kid. Let's talk a little bit about the Jaxson Dart decision.
Yes.
We've been talking about it for weeks, really since the season has started. You know what my stance has been. I would have really preferred if the Giants could wait. But I really, slowly but surely, I've been softening my stance because of just what's going on with the Giants. the one thing that this does do immediately, okay, is it gives the fan base a bit of hope. And I think the Giant ownership, I think Giant coaching staff, I think the Giants GM, whose jobs might be very well on the line, they want to get the fan base back in their corner. I mean, we are literally hearing boos for the starting quarterback, Russell Wilson, on the field. We're hearing chants of, put in Dart, put in Dart. You can't let that go. And the writing was on the wall, especially this past week when they started just throwing him in intermittently for some plays. Now he hasn't even tossed a pass yet. They're just like trying to make it like he's like, the running quarterback. He's the what was the old the run and shoot guy, whatever.
Slash Cordell Stewart back in the day.
Yeah, like Slash. That's a great example, right? When the Steelers were using him that way before they finally gave him the job. So it was just, and that's it's so awkward for Wilson. This veteran guy, he might very well be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. He's won a Super Bowl. He's had a great career. He's on the back end. There's no question about it. And he's not the same guy. But, just the fact that he's got to run off the field and watch the kid go out there, and the kid's got the glimmer in his eyes, and he's got the sparkly diamond chain around his neck, and, he runs a play and does nothing, and the fans like, yeah! Then Wilson comes back and like, boo, and they just murmurs. What are we doing with this guy? Just awful. I'm just like, oh, this is
poor guy.
This is like awkward. This is getting awkward. So I get it. And even though I am the more patient type, would have liked to see a longer waiting period, I kind of get it. I'm not going to fire off. I'm against this. I'm telling you, this will ruin the guy. Because it's not going to ruin the guy if your intention was to bring him in after game 8 or game 9 or game 10 to bring him in week 4. It's just six in one hand, half dozen in the other. If it's inevitable, it's inevitable. Then you might as well get to it. If that's it, if this is going to be the year about finding out whether Jaxson Dart has the stuff, how many chances do we give Daniel Jones, then let's just get to it then, I guess. And I think that's what the Giant fan has been asking for. So now the Giant fan gets it. I do think what this will provide is, number one, a spark to the fan base. Number two, it feels like a spark to the team. It feels like the team seems to kind of be like, we've talked to Ed a lot about it. He's in that locker room. He's talking to players. He's talking to the people in management. It just feels like there's been a bit of a murmur, a rally around Dart quietly behind the Wilson, who's handled this with class. He's handled it the right way, but they're not feeling it from Russ. And they feel like this kid can maybe do something that Russ can't. And he's going to provide mobility that Wilson doesn't have anymore, which is going to help because they don't pass protect very well, especially when Andrew Thomas is not in there. Hopefully he plays the whole game this week, maybe, rather than just the first half. But, they're in a pinch here, and I guess it just had to do it, unfortunately. I don't think it's going to ruin the kid one way or the other, but we're going to find out a lot sooner whether or not he's, the stuff that's made of, is he, quote, a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go back to a comment that old Yank brought up here, that at the combine he was chewing gum, effortlessly throwing dimes. He has a moxie about him.
He's very confident, swagger, yes. Cockiness to him, which is not a bad thing, by the way, for a quarterback. Not a bad thing.
No, and I've got a lot of books behind me over my left shoulder, and one of them is the Q Factor. What's the insights of a franchise quarterback, and it was wrote by Brian Billick, a former Super Bowl winning coach. And I've read that book several times about a coach's perspective on the quarterback draft analysis and pre-draft process. And one of the secret sauces is confidence, man. Your quarterback's confidence, it oozes to other teammates and things of that nature. So I'm excited to see the kid. To your point, Andrew Thomas made his NFL debut last week, albeit in a limited role with a snap count situation. So as he progresses, having Andrew Thomas out there makes me feel even better for Jaxson Dart. His own mobility makes me feel good that he could get out of any sticky situation that may be there. Again, that won't be a cure-all for everything, but I like that part of it. And to your point, the spark for the team, man. The team has been that Cowboys game they could have, should have, would have won. The Chiefs game, while I know what the final score was, the Giants were more in that than anybody. If you watch a game, you know what I'm talking about. And I think Jaxson Dart and Malik Neighbors, obviously, right, coming off that game where he has 2 catches for 13 yards. It's ridiculous. Jaxson Dart is going to get Malik Neighbors the football. So that part to me is going to be really exciting. So it was inevitable that at some point this Giant staff, and that was my fear going back to when he was drafted, we talked about it both on the radio and in digital, that, man, there's a conflict of interest between the coaching staff and the front office of when they're going to get Jaxson Dart out there, which meant that Jaxson Dart was inevitably getting out there at some point. Just the question was when. and as we found out, even sooner than intended, than we thought. But nonetheless, I'm rooting for the young man. He's got some swagger, very different than some of the quarterbacks the Giants have had in the past, like Eli Manning, who's stoic, emotionless. Like Jaxson Dart is flexing after, I saw him in the preseason. He looked very confident there.
He looked confident in the preseason. That is the one thing that we at least before we see him really throw an NFL pass and quarterback as a starting quarterback in the NFL in the preseason, and it's the preseason.
Of course.
All right. The Giants were 3-0 in the preseason. It was, they're going to be the team that does more than everyone thinks. Well, we're 0-3. Now, nobody's saying that. Everybody's like, oh, what's going on with them? They're awful again. Oh, that offensive line can't block. Oh, well, they got a terrible quarterback. They better get that kid in there. I mean, it's so amazing how quickly we flip it. Just a few weeks ago, every talking it out there was like, the Giants, they're going to surprise. They haven't surprised anybody. They've lost 2 games that they should have won, and they're 0-3. So here we go. I'm always blown away by that. But Dart did show some swagger in the preseason, and when he came in, it felt like the team just had more energy. They had more lift. So I assume that they're hoping that chemistry continues here in the regular season with the starters.
And he just looked like he belonged. And again, it's preseason. We can't say that enough times, but it just looked like he belonged. It just looked like the moment wasn't too big for him. He wasn't scared. He's confident. And let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can rally this Giants team that I think has a lot more talent than people are aware of, and see what they can do. The Chargers may be the best team in football. So what a start for Jaxson Dart and mentor. Dalton Wasserman is just talking about their talented defensive coordinator from Michigan. He is really good. So we'll see how the Giants respond.
Hey, I'm asking again in the comments while we're still with you, just be with you a couple more minutes. Any suggestions you have for Manchild's Jets jersey for the big Jet game in 2 Sundays? And Badger throwing down some more suggestions. How about a Jets Dave? So Meggett played for the Jets. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
for a Giants Don Maynard jersey. Don Maynard played for I didn't know that either. Now, the Meggett thing's starting to kind of register because at the back end of his career, he left the Giants and he bounced around a little bit, right? I think, wasn't he on New England?
He wasn't. And so he was on the Giants from 89 to 94. He was with the Patriots from 95 to 97. And his final season was spent with the Jets in 98.
Jets. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
That would be fascinating. Did Meggett wear 22? 22 is my number.
That is true. Yeah, let me get
a good counter.
He wore number 30 and number 22, so he wore 2 different numbers during.
For the Jets, he wore 2 different numbers, or
no, just in his career, he wore 2 different.
What did he wear for the Jets? Do you know?
Yeah, I'll have to
check it. Take a look. Take a look. I'm curious. That would be a good kind of get away with it, Jersey Boy Green. Rather than wear like a Namath or.
He did wear 22 with the Jets.
He did. It's like you get away. That would be sneaky good, Badger. That's a very good. I'm a Giants guy. I'm dressed up in Jets gear, but it's Dave Meggett's name on the back, and it's 22. That's fantastic.
And you'll have that forever, right? Because you why wouldn't you ever want to wear that jersey again somewhere else?
Where the heck am I getting that jersey these days? Who the heck's like stocking up on the Dave Meggett 22 Jets jersey that's online right now? It's gonna have that thing ready at the wait to ship that thing off to me tomorrow. I don't know.
And interesting on the reverse, Don Maynard, he started his career with the Giants. That was his first ever team he was on. He didn't do anything with the Giants. Wow. Fell through, and then he had the long career with the Jets as
one of the all-time great Jets. One of the all-timers.
He's a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest Jets of all time.
Wow. I tell you what. I mean, it's a great idea, Badshaw, and I appreciate you throwing it down. I don't, usually when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I just do it full. I don't take cheat, cut corners,
so I see.
Get away with it.
People would perceive this as.
I guess I did on draft night, but there's kind of some humor in that, dare I say. But
that worked out.
I'm not the idiot that Jerry Jones is. I rubbing it. I love rubbing it in any Dallas Cowboy fan's face. As a matter of fact, when I was up in Newport, Rhode Island, the family that I was staying with, the husband born and grew up in Irving, Texas. As soon as I heard that, I go, "Oh, that's right near the old stadium there in Dallas. Are you a Cowboys fan?" He's like, "Die hard." I was like, "Ooh, let's not talk football this weekend. Not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. Not a good idea. I hate the Cowboys, and I hate that whole thing." So that was kind of fascinating.
So you don't want to skirt out of this,
right? So for the fantasy draft, as you know, I wore the Micah Parsons jersey that I got from my friend in New York. Now I acquired that jersey before that trade happened.
When he was a Cowboy,
I was going to either wear that or the Starback jersey. And then when the trade happened, I was like, I'm absolutely wearing that. Plus, Jamie was really annoying to me about the whole bet and just he wouldn't, So, and then I had to double dip on the bed. And
oh wait, let me ask you this, Lerch. This may be
okay.
something you never knew. Did you know the jersey that Jamie wanted to put you in?
No, what did he want to put me in? No.
So the whole time he told me at the very beginning, the jersey he wanted to put you in that he thought would cause you the most pain. And we were going to, by circumstance, you were just going to be forced to wear it
I can
because
take a
you.
guess on that. I
Yeah.
can take a
Okay.
guess.
Go ahead.
Is it Michael Irving?
No, it was Micah
Bryant?
Parsons.
Oh, it's Parsons. Oh, it was
Parsons was the plan the entire time, but
because
of course
I
we didn't.
complained for years that the
Yes.
Giants should have drafted him. Yes,
Because they traded back and they could have had him. They didn't have
Yes.
him. So yeah, that was the knife
It
that
made his
Jamie
dream
wanted to
come
put
true.
in your back. Yeah, right. And go figure, right? He ends up getting the thing you wanted anyway, but then it goes a different direction. So
that was just
is
a
true.
snarky response to a snarky bet that I never should have taken to begin with.
Probably
But
true.
I opened my big mouth on the airwaves on a game that I had no business betting on. It had
And
nothing
then
to
a
do with my
double or
team, by the
nothing,
way. And then I doubled down. Now I still owe him a steak dinner, by the way.
Yeah, both of us.
I
Yeah.
haven't cashed that in. Stop trying to get in on that,
Well,
boy.
what do you?
Green.
I'm
You have
just
nothing
just
do with
trying
that.
to help organize it as the mediator.
Not 2 steak dinners. It's a single. And you're welcome to come if you want and pay
Oh,
for your
great.
own dinner. Okay.
Oh well. Oh, okay.
So if you want to hang with Jamie and me, then you can pay for your own steak. I'll let you know when I'm doing it. But yeah, I owe him a good meal. So, but no, I think that for the Jets game,
You'll straight up Jets. Okay.
it'll be straight up. Yeah, I would like to own something Jets. As you know,
Okay.
I'm a jack of all trades. Look today,
You are clearly.
Dodgers, Boston Red Sox here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm a diehard Met fan, as you know. Mets, by the way, won last night. They're a game up. So
You're in
they're
the final wild card spot.
they're
Yes.
back in that spot. Yep, because the Reds lost and the Mets won, and also the Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks
lost as well.
are also a game back. Yes.
So now the Diamondbacks dropped another game. So
Getting
yeah,
dicey.
so the Mets are back in control of their own destiny, dare I say, with 5 games to go. But they're not 5 easy games. They got 2 more games with the Cubs, very tough, including one tonight. Although Peterson was trash yesterday, pitched 1 inning, gave up 5 runs. Oh my God! Then it
Jeez,
became but both teams, bullpen games, essentially the way it went down. Neither of the starters pitched very long. But the Mets found a way, won 9-7, back on the beam tonight. They got 3 against the Cubs and then 3 against the Marlins, who are not good, but seem to kind of give the Mets some problems from time to time. So we'll see how that all goes. But at least the Mets have control of their own destiny again.
Oh, you can ask for it.
They didn't. They didn't.
Yeah.
It was the Reds who controlled their own destiny because they have the tiebreaker with the Mets. So
Yeah.
the Mets may be a game ahead of the Reds right now, but they're not really a game ahead.
It's
They're
a
really,
half a game.
Yeah, it's like a half game. This is what it
Yeah.
really is. It's like a half game, even though mathematically it's not.
Right.
So, yes. All right. So we've given away the Tyree. So, again,
Yes.
congratulations to Phil. That is so awesome. And we're going to enjoy seeing you have it, and we'll get it to you. And it sounds like he's already reached out to you, Boy Green.
Yes.
So,
And I
we'll
just want to
get that thing
confirm
signed, sealed, and delivered sooner rather than later.
real quick, Phil. He said BJ emailed you. I'm old, so I hope you get it. I just want to confirm. I wanted to check immediately because I don't want you to think you sent it, you didn't, and gave your number to some random person. Yes, I received it, Phil. So me and Manchild will be responding to you. I have the email, so you're all set. Thank you. Congratulations. And either email or the phone number you provided, we'll be reaching out very shortly in between all of our action. We have a lot of it's a busy day today. A busy day today at MC Show Digital Headquarters.
Yes, it is.
But yes, we'll figure it out.
Very, very busy. Don't forget, folks, we'll tease this for you right now. Tonight, our first one. Get ready to break the seal, Boy Green. We won't be virgins anymore, though we've covered the TV show Survivor Forever. You can play the music if we have it, right?
Oh, yeah. We do have it available.
Let's
Sure,
make it
yeah.
a whole thing here. Might as well get the music. But tonight, our first post-game show. Brett LaBelle is on board, and we will break down Episode 1, Season 49 of Survivor right after the show tonight. Expect us about 10, 15 minutes after the show ends at 9:30. Expect us right about 9:45. It will be live, so you can jump right in. You can, work in the comments, ask Brett questions about the episode if you want, ask us questions, but we're diehard Survivor fans. You got the music? Yeah, tiki torches are burning, man. I'm feeling pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling pretty
We're
good.
getting in the mode, Lerch.
So if you
This
love
is gonna be
Survivor,
cool.
you should tune in. We're going to be doing this every Wednesday night while the show's going on for this entire season. So, I don't know, somewhere probably in the neighborhood of 8 or 10 post-game shows, post-show shows.
9:45, folks. The
9:45?
show- Yeah, the episodes are 90 minutes now in Survivor Land, which means it goes from 8 to 9:30. 15 minutes after that, booyah, me, you, Brett LaBelle, former Survivor castaway, will be breaking down each of the latest episodes. And next week, during our Survivor Fantasy Draft, which you guys can follow along all season long. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait, Lerch. I'm fired up.
Fabulous, and that's going to be great tonight. So we'll be back live tonight. We're also live as usual on Friday with Joe Bartle. That is at 10:30 for our fantasy football segment. And we're dropping, again, a lot of great content this week. We've got Jets content coming later today. Jake Asman back on the beam to talk all things Jets with us, including that amazing blocked field goal and then the not so great defense giving it up and giving up a field goal to lose it. We'll get into all of that with Jake. We'll talk to Jake about this trade that the Jets made for that cornerback and much, much more. So that's coming today. We've got, go ahead. Sorry.
David Shoemate, the voice of Duke, baby.
That's right.
Syracuse
That's right.
Duke.
We're going inside enemy territory as we do every single week with Syracuse football. David Shoemate, the voice of Duke, will be joining us. So that's going to be dropping very soon as well. And then we've got our usual there, Anthony Prohaska from Cover One doing Bills with us. Nothing but happy, joy for all those Bills fans. Somehow we can't convince Anthony not to be superstitious. I'm sure he's even going to be concerned that they're playing the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, come on. 16.5 points.
16.5 point favorites. And he's going to be like, it's a tough game, guys. It's tough. It's gonna be a real dogfight out there, and we'll try to, stop him from killing himself. All right, man. The guy with the undefeated team is the one that we need to keep on suicide.
We're talking him off the ledge as 0-3 teams. What the hell?
Something's wrong with this picture, and we don't know what it is, but that is Anthony to the core, and he is so much like so many of the Bills fans and the Bills experts that we've talked to over the years. They're all paranoid. It's the craziest thing. I've never seen anything like it. So they refuse to kind of admit what they are. They're a really good football team, and they just are scared that it's just going to all fall apart. And, so they're so worried about it falling apart that they're not enjoying the splendors of it, man. Bask, sip some wine, kick it back, enjoy the splendors, eat. But no, they don't want to do that. They're too worried that they can't eat or drink or, bask. So anyway, we'll have Anthony as well. And as I mentioned, Joe Bartle on Friday. And of course, our NFL picks on Friday. Ooh, I am looking so forward to the picks.
Boy.
I got
Those are all tallied.
win that I needed. Thank you, Detroit Lions. That was big, baby, big. So I had a nice week. I don't know if it was the best week of everyone, but I am very happy. I don't know what everyone else did other than I know what one other person did. And it's the person that I want out of this thing. And he did not have a good week. So, man, tune in on Fridays. There will be fireworks on Fridays. Matt Lombardo, our NFL insider, joins us for that. And that's going to be a hoot this week. You don't want to miss our NFL picks. It's always a lot of fun. We pick every single game against the spread. And I am, as they say, moving on up, Boy Green, to the sky. All right.
There you go.
We had the Jeffersons theme. I'd be playing it right now, my friend, because that is how I'm feeling this week about the picks. I am coming into this week's picks. Yes. All right.
Well, there you go. We will. That's all tallied up, so I do know all the results of that, but we will reveal that on Friday. And real quick, to randomly answer this question, an old Yank about the rivalry jerseys. Yes, the Jets play the Dolphins on Monday Night Football, and they will be wearing very unique jerseys. Both teams will be. That is part of rivalry week. So you will see unique jerseys then. The Jets will also wear it later in the season against New England Patriots. I believe that one will be on the Thursday Night Football broadcast. So there you go. Yes.
All right. Fair enough. All right. So looking forward, folks, to interacting with you all week. Again, tonight, Survivor Live. You want to join us, 9:45. If you love the show, watch it tonight. Join us for this post-game show. It will be a live broadcast with Brett LaBelle. In other weeks going forward, we're going to see if Brett can bring along some friends. So we might have multiple former survivors all in a box with us and have a multi-box situation going here on our screen here on StreamYard platform. So tune in for that. You'll see the tiki torches burning, as you just did a little bit ago. So that's tonight. And then, of course, we'll be back for more live sports content on Friday. Don't forget all the great stuff we're dropping. If you're a Syracuse fan, David Shoemate getting ready to preview Syracuse and Duke and all the other great stuff, Jets, Giants, Bills. All right, folks, thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you tonight at 9:45, I hope, for a little, all right, little Survivor action. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.